My name is Askarian, and you are listening to Team Melli Talk.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Team Melli Talk, your source for the latest news on Team Melli, the national team of Iran. I'm your host, Askarian. Really glad that you can join us. And for today's special edition of Team Melli Talk, I am joined by Adel Askarian and Navid Karimi of TIFA, also known as the International Football Agency. Welcome to Team Melli Talk. It is really great to have you on the show. How are we doing today?
Great to be here. Thanks.
Yeah, same here. Also, great to be here. And thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Well, let's get right to it. I've heard about the International Football Agency before. I've done a little bit of my research, but tell our listeners about your work. What does the International Football Agency do? Or, maybe I want to say, what does TIFA do? Who wants to take this one?
I will take this one. I think, basically what we do is that we are a company and we're providing football training, basically in the Netherlands. That's our headquarters in the Netherlands. And we arrange those trainings by two means. One, we have a testing program, and after that, we have a development program, which basically means that we take players all over the globe to the Netherlands, and then we have a testing program for a week, and we have a testing program for 2 weeks. And in that week, the players get a chance to basically convince us that they have the quality to play in Europe or some of the top leagues in the world. And after that, we talk with the players, we talk with the trainers, we talk with the scouts, and we just give them a feedback about their strengths and some points that they have to develop over the years. After that, we have two ways. One, the player is good enough to come over here and play in the European leagues. If that's not the case yet, we can give them a development program which starts from 2 months and up, in which they come here to the Netherlands. They start training with the Dutch style, Dutch philosophy of how they play football. And I think everybody knows it, but the Dutch philosophy is among the best in the world. So that's basically what we do as a company. And right now we are honored to have, I think, 60 to 70 players all over the globe from 7 to 8 countries. We're doing good.
Yeah, I like the work you do. You mentioned testing and development. Two key aspects to helping footballers, no matter what age they are. But I believe from what you said, you're specializing in testing and developing players at a young age. And you mentioned the Dutch philosophy of football. And can we now elaborate more on the Dutch philosophy of football? What can you tell me about it? What does that entail?
I can take that one. Basically, the Dutch philosophy has two key aspects which makes our football as great as it is right now. One of it is the soft side, which we call the philosophy, and second is more the hard side of it, which we call infrastructure. So basically here in Holland we have over 3,000 clubs. Each club has around 100 or more members, and pretty much each club has at least 5 or 6 pitches existing out of both artificial and natural grass. So the facilities are pretty much all here to really develop players on a high level. And I'm grasping on the philosophy we have. It pretty much started in the 70s with Rinus Michels, 74, 78 with Johan Cruyff, and obviously '88 with the Dutch national team winning the Europe Cup. It's pretty much an attacking philosophy. Most clubs here embrace the same philosophy, which is a formation of 4-3-3 or 3-4-3 with wingers, attacking football, attractive football, 1 to 2 touches, and really the philosophy here is about how to score a goal by including all members of the team, or let's say all 11 members of the team. So if the goalkeeper has the ball, the game starts. Like the positioning game starts with the goalkeeper. So the goalkeepers here in Holland, they learn to play football on the same pace as a field player. So from the goalkeeper, you should go to a defender, from a defender to a midfielder, from a midfielder to an attacker. And this is pretty much the pace they want to see. A lot of movement, a lot of positional games, and that in a nutshell is the philosophy and pretty much the success we have here in Holland.
Well, I really like the explanation on the Dutch philosophy of football. And you mentioned attacking football. I mean, that of course is what football fans always want to hear about. And when thinking about that philosophy, you make comparisons to what we've seen from the Iranian national team in recent years. Well, clearly, when Iran had Carlos Queiroz as his head coach, it was more of a defensive style, and obviously successful in getting to the World Cup 2 occasions in a row. But I think when you mentioned the Dutch philosophy of football, I mean, that to me just makes me say that this is what I would like to see Team Melli employing. I mean, it would be great. I mean, is it something that would happen overnight? I would say probably not. I'm sure you would all agree as well. And when I heard when Navid mentioned how you guys have footballers from all over the globe coming to the Netherlands for testing and development with the International Football Agency. Now my next question is, why is TIFA, or the International Football Agency, so beneficial for young Iranian footballers? For all our listeners, I'm sure that they're waiting for this question. I'm pretty sure there's a good amount of Iranian footballers coming from Iran. I'm sure they're coming over to the Netherlands to be tested and developed by you guys. And and how is TIFA so beneficial? What will this do for the future of Iranian footballers?
Well, I think I can take this one. Well, basically what we do is you can divide it into 2 aspects. The one aspect is something that Adel just told you about, and the second aspect is the program that we try to deliver to the players. The program that we try to deliver, and we did deliver successfully over the years, is that we bring the players over here and we start training with them. And not only training on the field, but we also do field work. We also do some gym work. We also try to give them some training about how they should adjust their lifestyle as a professional. And that's something really important at a young age. If you learn that on a young age, you can take that with you in your whole career. So that's something that our program tries to deliver to the players. And besides that, we also do some mental training with the players that come over here. And what we see is that players all over the world, especially players from the Middle East, do need some mental training, but they also need the training to adjust their lifestyle to live as a professional. That's something that you need at a basic level in order to be able to develop your skills on the field. Because if you don't have the right mentality, you can develop to a certain point, but you're not able to give your 100%. You're not able to reach your top level. So that's something that our program, it tries to deliver to the players. And I think Adel can give you some more insights about what our what our program consists of in terms of training and in terms of some teamwork.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it all starts obviously with everything in business. So also with football, it all starts with a certain problem which creates a demand. So getting back on what I said about the philosophy we have here, number one is the infrastructure. And number two is really an idea, really a philosophy. And pretty much both of it is lacking right now in Iran, starting from all the way up, right? With if you look at the national team, so we had Kirosh, who had a certain philosophy which had all to do with defending and trying to counter. And now we have a new one with Wilmot, who's a Belgian coach. In my opinion, hasn't been very successful yet. Also doesn't quite have a clear philosophy. So what you can see that will happen is that the same will happen to the youth of the Iranian team, right? So we have now the World Cup under 17. Iran, as a number one of Asia, didn't qualify. Looking at the games, you could really see like there was no structure, there was no philosophy, there was pretty much nothing. So what we try to do with TIFA in terms of the technical part is really provide players with the experience of what it is to train at the highest level, with the right facilities, with the right coaches, with a clear philosophy behind it, which all has to do with actually playing football. We believe that if we do this at a young age, so we've had players, and we still have players since they were 13 years old, and one of them is coming back next year. He's turning 16. So for 3 years, once a year, we brought over this player to test and to train. So what we hope for is the moment they turn to a legal age, which is 18 due to the FIFA regulations, the boys will already have experienced what it is to train at the highest level here in Europe. And once we take them on a tryout when they are 18, that's, I believe, key for the programs we offer, is really to prepare the boys from Iran and from other parts of the world to get ready for the level they can expect here in Europe. So hopefully they can succeed more, and then in return they can go back and increase the level we have at our national teams.
Well, I think our listeners like what they're hearing. We would like to see the future of Iranian football change, and just, if more of these players can be tested and developed in Holland by TIFA, that would be very beneficial, just to, like you said, bring a different philosophy, but also give them the development they need to become better professional footballers. So now, going into more detail, let's talk a bit now about some of the young talent some of the young Iranian talent that has made its way over to the Netherlands to be tested by TIFA. I believe two of these players, one of them is Nima Heydarian, the other one is Ali-Reza Rezai. What can you guys tell me about these young talented Iranian footballers?
Yeah, so first off, to start with the scope we are working with, in Iran there are many academies, a couple private and a couple owned by the state. So in Tehran there are pretty much two pretty strong academies who pay a lot of attention to their youth, which one of them is Saipa and the other one is Peykan, both in the region of Karaj. And then you have the south with Fulad Khuzestan, which has a lot of good talents and a real system. And then if you go towards Esfahan, you have Zobahan and Sevahan. So starting with Ali-Reza Rezai, this is also the player we mentioned. So We scouted him when he was 13 years old, playing for Saipa as the captain. So far, we brought him over a couple of times. Midfielder, very smart. He can be a very good number 6 in pretty much all systems, 4-3-3 or 4-4-2. Growing, very much growing. He's also a member of the national team. So what we have done so far, we brought him over a couple of times for a couple of weeks. Last year he was here and he trained with a club. The club really liked him. So his name is already out into the market. So our job is to bring him back next year. Again, test him and see if we can increase the level in terms of the training sessions and also in terms of bringing him to a even higher level club for tryouts. So I believe that Alireza Rezai is definitely one of the most talented players we have right now in Iran as in total. So that's definitely a name to look out for. And then with Nima Heydarian, he's turning 17, I believe, this year. So Nima was with us last year, like Alireza, for the testing program in Holland. It was a 2 weeks testing program. Nima is from Kermanshah, so that's a small town. Not a lot of football. But they are very passionate about football, but there isn't much of a structure or infrastructure. So Nima was here for 2 weeks, and he very much liked the program, and he's very ambitious to develop as a player. So we discussed with him and his parents for him to come over again for a development program. So he was here just recently for a couple of months. You could really see from day one to the last day that he managed to develop his skills, and his eagerness is just very fun to see. So basically we are now in negotiations to see if he can come back to pretty much stay like for a longer period. But yeah, definitely Alireza Rezai is let's say in our opinion, the most talented right now, name to look out for. And Nima is one of the players who, through the programs we offer, is now making his way to Europe to stay here for an indefinite time.
Awesome. So like you said, Alireza Rezai, I believe he's captain of the U17 team for Saipa FC. If I'm not mistaken, he's also been capped for Iran at the U15 level, so excellent news to hear. Now, my next question, who is a star on the rise that you guys can talk about? I'm pretty sure there is an attacking midfielder who can also play winger who comes from Saipa as well. And who is this player, and is this player that our listeners should be looking out for?
A player, he's right now, he's 17 years old. He will be turning 18 by next year. As you said, he's playing for Saipa. He's playing actually for the first team, although he doesn't get a lot of minutes, so he plays in the second team in the under-19s. But Hossein Nokhotkar is definitely another player, again, coming from the pool of Saipa, which is a player on the rise. So hopefully if he can keep his mentality up and make sure he has the right guidance, he might be someone we will see shortly in Europe.
Okay, Hossein Nokhotkar. So some more young talent for Iranian football fans to keep an eye on. I think this is always really exciting news. I still remember years ago when I started to hear Sardar Azmoun's name, and now we've seen what he's done. So, like you said, so let's keep an eye out for Hossein Nokhotkar, 17 years old, currently playing for Saipa, and yeah, it would be great to see him do some great things for Saipa at the top level. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Now we are getting closer to wrapping up this edition of Team Melli Talk. I really do appreciate having you guys on the show. It has been a good chat about Iranian football. But now getting to a basic question. So after hearing everything that TIFA does I mean, what is the message that is being sent to Iranian football fans? Is it basically saying that Iran's footballers will always be at a disadvantage if their players do not get the kind of development and testing that you guys provide in the Netherlands?
Well, basically, we're not talking in terms of disadvantage because we believe that the Iranian football players have a great mentality when they come over here. So that's something that they really have, and we're really proud that they have that mentality. If you talk in terms of training and a philosophy, which Adel can give you some more insight about, and in terms of infrastructure, yes, we currently have a disadvantage in Iran because we don't have the facilities that they have over here in Europe and over there in America. So that's something that really gives them a disadvantage because they don't have the facilities to give them enough training hours. They don't have the right philosophy. Every team they're changing has a different philosophy, and that's something that gives them a disadvantage in their career. But I think Adel can give you some more insights about the disadvantage on the more technical side.
Yeah, thanks, Navid. It's pretty much been said in the sense that, very easy, what to do if you have the ball, what to do if you don't have the ball, positional games, all the things that we here in Holland excel in and also are embraced for in the world, we can teach. So obviously, you will be able to make it to Europe without us, definitely. But what we are looking for and what we are aiming for is through the programs we have to really build the next generation of top football players. We are not talking about players coming over 1 to 2 years and then going back or playing at very low divisions. We are talking about building players who we can say what we call playing the Super Leagues, so in the top leagues here in Europe. That's pretty much what the objective is, and through philosophy we can do that. Through all the infrastructure we have, both of them combined prepares the player to ultimately, when his shot arrives, or her shot, who knows, to be there, to really excel and perform and keep up performing for the length of his career.
Well, guys, I'd just like to say that I really appreciate the work you do. I mean, the fact that you provide this testing and development for young footballers, you're doing a great thing. And of course, seeing as how you also specialize in bringing over young Iranian footballers to help them to become better players in the future, I'd just like to say thank you for the work you do. It was really great to have you guys on Team Melli Talk.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you're the same. Thank you for having us, and it was really good to be on the podcast.
Once again, my guests today from TIFA, the International Football Agency, Adel Askarian and Navid Karimi. Guys, like I said, it was great to have you on the show. For everyone who is interested in learning more about the International Football Agency, check out their website, www.tifagency.com. Those of you on Instagram, here's the handle, @TIFAGENCY. Once again, the International Football Agency. And that's it for this edition of Team Melli Talk. Really do appreciate the support. Make sure you follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You know the handle, @Team Melli Talk. You can also go to our website, teammellitalk.com. Check out our Tumblr blog, and don't forget to check out our latest YouTube videos. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this edition of Team